See, this young man made an announcement that nobody was anticipating this
They
past
ask you
week.
how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into it because they would never understand.
DZ is steady grabbing
He's
his
been
tissues right
crying.
now.
He's been crocodile tears since the doggone announcement was made on Saturday afternoon. Who am I talking about? The legendary Chris Bumstead, 6-time Olympia physique winner, here this morning to give us his final words from the Olympia stage.
6 years ago, in 2019, before I ever won the Olympia, I said I was going to set the standard for what the classic physique division was going to become. And I had no idea what I was saying at the time. I was a young, ignorant kid just chasing after a dream. And here we are, 6 years later, 6 of these around my neck. And I hope I've done that, but I hope I've done it a different way than I meant in the moment, where it wasn't so much about my physique and what I'd done, but how I did it and who I was, who I became along the way. It's with, I think a lot of people know what's coming tonight, and it's with a really bittersweet feeling that this is gonna be my last time up on the stage. The past 8 years up here have been the most amazing journey of my life, and I wouldn't change a thing. I really hope I hope I've set the standard. You know, I hope I've done that in a way where people are inspired to take up their own things, and I've tried to share what was truly important to me on this journey. I've talked about, you know, feeling the highs, feeling the lows, feeling it all. If you numb the bad, you numb the good. Doing the hard shit, all that stuff. But the hard shit's not about showing up in the gym, working out hard. It's the stuff that's actually hard to you. It's the stuff that you don't want to do, whether it's going up to your wife, telling her you're having a hard day and that you need a hug, and you just being vulnerable enough to cry in front of her. Telling your friend you love them, or walking away from something that you love because you know you have faith that there's something greater for you beyond the horizon. And you know, I've put myself out there, and I've sacrificed a lot over the past few years, and a lot of that's been mental peace. You know, I put a lot of pressure and expectation on myself, and it's been rewarded, and I'm so grateful, but I'm ready to step down from this and let someone take the spot. And I've learned the most beautiful thing, that when you get handed everything you ever wanted, that sometimes it's the simplest things right in front of you, like your family, the people who love you, the small moments in between that mean so much more.
Pretty powerful stuff, man. You know, there's a lot of things he said in there that, and shout out, that was heartfelt. You could tell it's tough for, you know, and we're all people, we're all just humans, and we all feel emotion. And anytime you've put any type of real energy into something for, you know, 2 years, 6 years, 10 years, what have you, 6 years was probably just what you've seen. He's probably been doing it for a lot longer than that, obviously. But with that being said, it hits you hard when you're about to walk away from something, right? And so I wrote that away. And you guys hear me say it all the time. I'm ready to sell everything. I'm not afraid of selling everything. I'll get rid of everything. I don't have no problem with that. You know why? Because I've lost everything before and I've gotten it back. And I have always had faith that life is going to bring me something better. No matter what I gave away, it's going to replace it with something better. I'm going to have a better life, wife. I'll have all the things I need at the end of the struggles that I keep going through. And, you know, there's something to be said about a guy like that. And I talked to my boy Frank about this the other day. And trust me, there's a lot of people out there that are successful, but it takes an insane amount of mental fortitude to be a guy like Chris Bumstead. It takes an extremely insane amount of obsession to become that. It's not just go to the gym and this is what you're going to be. No, when he says it's the little things, that man had to look at every single thing he's done in his life to create what he is. If you think about what it takes to become somebody like a Marshmallow or a Chris Bumstead or a DJT or whatever it might be, the amount of work that that person has to put in to be able to create that kind of figure is beyond anything you can ever imagine. So that emotion that you're seeing right there is all of those catfish, all of those years, all those fights, everything coming back and saying, you know what? You didn't think you could do it, and here you are. And it's your body telling you, and it's excited for you, and it's congratulating you. And my hat's off to that guy, because in a life of abundance, you walk away from what you love because something good is still coming.
Yeah. Definitely some heartfelt words there from the legendary C-Bum. You know, talked about a lot of things, a lot of good stuff in there. And one of the things he said that got me was, if you suppress the bad, you suppress the good. You have to live through it all. You got to deal with the highs. You got to deal with the lows. You got to deal with the in betweens. It's what we've been talking about today. If you don't have the adversity, you're never going to grow. If you run from adversity, you're never going to have that great life. You're never going to be able to reach those goals. And what he said at the beginning, and I hope I said, I want to set the standard of what it means to be the men's physique division. And I hope I did it differently. I meant it totally differently in that moment. And I really started thinking about that. My famous quote, "I'm a millionaire. They just haven't paid me yet." When I first started saying that quote, it was because I wanted to be a millionaire. But now it's because of what it will make of me to become a millionaire, of who I will become because I got to a millionaire, of what I will be because I've battled and struggled and toiled. Because not everybody just gets to wake up on a Tuesday morning and be a millionaire. It just doesn't happen. It takes a lot of work, a lot of adversity, a lot of catfishes over and over and over again, and being willing to be on the top of your game every single day. And sometimes you got to walk away when you're at the top of your game. When you've got it all good, sometimes you got to make that pivot and walk away. And that's what Chris is doing. And I think we're going to see some amazing things from old Bumstead. I certainly do. I don't think this is the last we've heard. I don't think he's just a guy who's going to be on the stage. I think there's going to be some big stuff coming up. And man, I look forward to wherever the hell he goes, because that man he talked about that mental pressure, and he talks about it all the time. And it's just literally goes down to what we talked about today. Everything in between of just dealing with that mental pressure, dealing with the stress, dealing with the shit. And knowing a lot of times, damn, I put this on myself. Maybe if I start wearing life like a loose garment, water off a duck's back, maybe I could start handling these trials and tribulations a little bit easier. Maybe I could turn them into triumphs a whole hell of a lot easier. Who's to say? Who's to know?